I think ethics and integrity, I mean, they are different, but they, of course, are the gate through which they need to pass. That's the threshold. You need to pass to even be considered. But what I would look at fluid intelligence, right? Fluid intelligence is not IQ. It's more about how can you apply what you know in different circumstances. How can you problem solve where there seems to be no solution, right? How can you connect the dots seemingly which can't seemingly be connected, right? So that ability to really think through critically and analyze issues doesn't need to be numbers. I'm not talking about numbers here. Number two, I would look at curiosity, because curiosity evokes learning agility. It indicates learning agility. And how do I look at how do I assess curiosity, right? I assess curiosity by the quality of questions they ask, not the usual, how do you lead? What is the culture of the organization? Do you allow hybrid work or not? I'm not looking at those questions. I'm looking at questions around how incisive are their questions around the role, around the organization. What do I learn from their questions? How much do their questions make me think? I'm looking at people who have taken chances, who've tried to do different things, right? And who have a very logical explanation of why they did it, right? And I'm looking for that because I look at those as indicators of, the fact that people can learn. Third, I look for is confident humility. Not just humility, confident humility, right? Where you're humble, right? I wouldn't hire a person who's a know-it-all, right? Nobody is a know-it-all. And don't pretend to be so, right? Because if you're not humble, a lot of things fall along the way. You will not learn. And you basically will not get along with anyone. It's not just about getting along. It's about you not bringing the right solutions because you're not open to others' points of view. So coming back to that example, so this goes back to my Agoda days. So I was looking for someone for a rewards role. You won't believe I interviewed consultants for this role and very qualified on paper, right? There was no reason that I wouldn't hire them, and there were people on the pipeline, and then one fine day I receive one CV, right? This is from a girl who worked she was working in a special child's home as a front desk executive receptionist, right? I was very intrigued. I was like, And she had no experience in HR, no experience in corporate, nothing. I said, never mind. Let's put her through the test. So we used to do these, initial screening tests, so proper assessment, numerical, psychometric, and analytical. She aced it, Vivian. She aced it like no one else.
Wow.
Her percentile, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was 95th percentile. No one came near that, right? And I called her in for an interview and I asked her, why did you apply for this role? What made you apply for this role? She said, I saw this job post. It seemed interesting. I like numbers. I'm bored what I'm doing, and I want to do this. I want to do something different. I want to see what it is like. And she asked me some very good questions. She asked me, what is CNB? What is compensation? And I was just so impressed by her hunger to learn, and she had the skills. With that kind of intelligence, and this was fluid intelligence we were testing, you can do anything. But she was humble, right? She said, I don't know what is rewards. She didn't even pretend to say, she could have read some articles or books and come and pretended and told me that, hey, this is compensation. And if I would have probed further, she would have fallen flat, right? She was very humble. I hired her on the spot. Until date, she's there. She's, I think, a senior manager or rewards manager or something like that. And it was the most radical hire I made. A lot of people asked me, why would you hire her? They were consultants. I just saw this thing in her. So what did she meet? She was, of course, ethical. She showed that I think she had that empathy that she could go work. She was a smart girl, passed out from a decent college, and she went and did that. So I felt she was ethical because I had those conversations with her on how she approaches different situations. She had the fluid intelligence, she had the curiosity, and she had that humility, and she was confident enough to come and appear for that interview and apply for that job.
Yeah.
So I hired her.
Wow.
And she was one of the best hires I made.
Wow.